Welcome back to Central Coast Disc Golf. This is the final 9 holes of the 2023 Beaver State Fling presented by Innova. I'm your host, Nate Perkins, and I'm here with my good friend Connor O'Reilly. We're at Milo McIver, one of the most prestigious titles you can win in the game. Connor, Eagle kind of shredded that front 9. He kind of extended his lead. What do we have here going into the back?
Our two-time Beaver State Fling champion is looking strong. Currently in the lead by 4 strokes through 9. A couple other hot front 9s. Carter Aarons, Jakub Simmerad, both playing those 7 downs as well, looking to position themselves maybe for some kind of podium finish. As we head to the back, there's going to be a tough stretch at the end, but these next few holes, you got to still score some birdies. Starting here on the 10th, going to be one of the easier holes on the course. 700-foot par 4, not much in your way on this tee shot. Just an out-of-bounds line on the left to keep you honest. The ground does play pretty skippy, so if you land within 30 feet of that, if you air it to within 30 feet of that on hyzer angle, you have a good chance to skip out. These players looking to play, whether aggressive or conservative off the tee, anything landing inbounds and then put it somewhere close on this green. We'll be remiss to see less than 3 birdies on this.
Cloudbreaker on a pretty steep hyzer there, and that's a conservative shot, but well in range to score here. There's not a lot to be concerned about here on the 10th.
Yeah, Double G, one of the few players we've been seeing take it more straight at it line. Looked like Presnell was kind of trying to do some of the same there. Either way, as long as you're inbounds here, you're really counting on a look.
It's still 450 out there for Prez and his force.
Garrett's had some slow putting on the front 9. He needs to make some moves on these first couple holes of the back.
Yeah, it's pushing 550 right there for Garrett with his Destroyer. His caddy, Pete Johnson. He's caddied for quite a few tournaments for Garrett.
Yeah, Pete's always a fun guy to be around. Just good energy. Calvin, very conservative. Looks like maybe Raptor out of Presnell.
That needs a skip. Okay. Oh. Is that a flag blowing?
Wow.
First time we've seen a flag move all weekend.
You guys, especially this final round. The temperatures did drop a bit. We are sitting in the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s, which here in Oregon kind of feels chilly, so a lot of players elected for some undershirts to keep their body warm. But yeah, the wind is really almost just not out here. There's times where you throw up grass, it's just going to do nothing but drop straight down.
Calvin going Toro into the green, Eagle going P3X, and I think Garrett's looking to toss this one in.
Yeah, he's going with that AVR
okay
3 or X3 that he likes, and he put that drive so close. He had 140 feet in, maybe. That was a smash.
Presnell continues his great tournament. Really good to see him. He's been grinding on the tour for, I believe this is his 6th consecutive year traveling around the United States.
Eagle with the routine birdie. I'd like to see him unload on that tee shot, see where he could put it to, but he understands that this birdie is not something he needs to get cheeky on, especially when he has the cushion that he currently does.
I mean, we've seen him throw a 730-foot air shot for a park job before in competition. So we know he's capable of putting this one in the circle.
Sometimes it's more about the score than the pride and showing people what you can do. Eagle wants to show people that he can win, and we know full well that he can and has done it in the past, but looking for that first pickup of the 2023 season.
After we putt out on 10, we have a short walk around the bend over to the Philobatros hole. Not really possible to card the Albatross here any longer. It is an 850-foot par 4. We saw Eagle McMahon get to the base of this hill, nearly a 600-foot drive during round 2. Let's see if he can recreate that special distance today. This is the hole that really tests the player's ability to throw 500 plus on hyzer.
It's just filthy and unfathomable to think of where Eagle put his disc round 2. Let's see where he gets to here. Oh my goodness, you guys. He's pushing that hill once again.
Probably 550 to 575 there.
On hyzer. That
Definitely
is just
75 plus miles per hour.
Andrew, great looking shot. Going to be 120 feet behind Eagle.
That was the Horizon Cloudbreaker for Eagle, and that was another Force for Prez. This is Destroyer for Garrett, and
They like it, but that looks tight.
that's too tight, I think, Connor.
I think they just like the speed and the force coming out of the hand. I think Garrett tried to do a little bit too much right there, maybe trying to put it up there with Eagle.
This is that Millennium driver for Calvin. Is that Quasar?
That would make sense. That's one of their kind of more overstable, like
Yeah.
boss type drivers.
Yeah, that's his fastest and most overstable driver.
Presnell center cut fairway. Looks like a great shape out of the hand. Can it fight back to the left edge?
What a pretty shape from way back in the fairway for Andrew. He's going to have a 55-footer for his 3.
Yeah, and with the height that he came in with, kind of a more medium height, it's hard to get that fade back left. You almost have to use some airspace to get that flex to get back over, unless you can find the hyzer window. Calvin, not able to, but that little slide down to the right is definitely favorable. Garrett, rare forehand, going roller. Can it fight through some stuff? Oh, there it is. Wow. Inside of the circle, Double G getting crafty. And we ain't talking about jerky.
Nice, Connor. Love that, man. And I think this has got to be... Okay, it looks like Splice.
Tickles that little branch. Does it have any effect? Still helicoptering down. Watch out, cameraman. The disc was literally just floating down like it was coming down an elevator. Just so much speed and height on that overstable shot. I feel like this course out here, it forces more up high in the air turning angles than almost any course we'll see on tour. Just a couple of these blind approaches and having these trees so tall. That would have been one of those strokes that if Eagle could drop it as a fellow competitor, that would have just really been hard to try to match. Garrett finally gets a good putt to drop.
I think you could confidently count on one hand how many players have got up and down for a 3 on this hole with a forehand roller.
Probably one. Probably Double G.
Really cool up and down from him. I believe that was a Firebird that he rolled into the green. And
Yeah, the 11th is definitely an elusive birdie. Takes a great power drive, and then that second shot is so particular. And really unlike a lot of shots that we get to see on the tour.
after we put out on this hole, we have just a really nice walk up the hill. You kind of walk down this trail, these other par 3s that we used to play on the west course, and head over to the tee pad of 12, what they call the dream hole.
Yeah, this is an incredible tee shot. One of the most fun shots on the course, if not the most. Whether you want to hammer on a mid-range and get it to stand up or play that fairway driver, you really just got to keep this one on a tight straight line and make sure you give it enough height to clear to this wood chip green posted between the two big majestic trees. There are a couple tricky spots up here that you can really be guarded behind these trunks and not have a good look, so hopefully you did your yoga this morning. Is that Firebird out of Garrett?
I think that's still his glow T-Bird, but they really look similar.
Yeah, they do. And with his speed, it's hard to tell sometimes. Eagle going back to that same disc he threw on hole 4. And that is early, but the course says, here you go, champ. We're going to give you some love, buddy. 2-time champ getting all the love here.
Yeah, a few times this round that Prez has missed just a slight overcommitment on that stable fairway. This hole shapes up pretty well for a Heimburg eagle shot.
Yeah, he really perfects that one. Calvin's one of those players, you throw him a line, 400-foot power range, dead straight. I feel like he's got like an 85% success rate of being right there close. Oh my gosh, Eagles getting fortunate, almost capitalizing. It's got to be hard as one of these guys trying to chase him down right now, where it seems like he just can't do any wrong. Presnell's layup there shows me that he has more focused on just a good finish than necessarily trying to go reach for eagle up there 4 strokes ahead of him. He understands how valuable those Pro Tour points are and just what a good finish can do for your season.
Calvin picking one back up. He moves within 3 of eagle.
Calvin staying just close enough to put some pressure on. It's a good look at that very unique swing for Heimburg. The kind of choked reach back, wrist above the elbow as he pulls through, but then gets to that hit point, creates tremendous power. Carter Aarons 10 down through 12. He is cruising. Finds himself sitting tied 4th.
He's 15 years old, Connor.
The Wombat 3 pretty much goes right where you want to throw it. One of the most difficult shots to throw in disc golf is a perfectly straight shot, and the Wombat 3 does that really, really well.
All right, hole 13. T-pad has the Clackamas River just behind and left of you. This is a brand new hole this year. Blind shot up this little hill. Pretty much dead straight. Rough on the right is pretty thick. You really need to kind of hyzer flip to flat and then ride straight for a bit if you want to putt from circle 1.
Yeah, I feel like this hyzer flip angle just really suits the way Eagle wants to throw the disc. Calvin probably looking to play a little bit more of an inside outline, not as much of the hyzer flip. And he sneaks up under the canopy of the Guardian tree there. He's going to have some kind of a look.
It's a pretty common spot to land, I feel. Hyzering off late in the flight.
Garrett going T-bird and clearing that root with a nice skip.
What a beautiful angle on that skip, too. I mean, that root could have totally stopped the disc. Did quite the opposite there. Is this MD1? It is another mindbender shot.
Oh. Yeah, early out of the hand. That's going to be a spot where he definitely can get up and down. Let's see if he has backhand or a little Anheuser forehand from there.
And just like that, Calvin's got an opportunity to move within 2.
And Double G is also starting to warm up as we get here to the back.
Prez uses every bit of the right side of that fairway. What a dime from Andrew.
Give me that CTP. Eagle able to squeeze a backhand there. Going to be able to get up and down for that par.
30-footer obstructed. Yes.
Eagle, 3 straight pars. Maybe starting to feel just a touch of that pressure. As Calvin is only 2 back. Garrett's now 3 down through the last 4. Andrew making sure the basket won't do anything funny to him. And another look at Calvin once again going to that split stance and delivering a stripe. His putting has been so great this season. In hole 14, gonna be maybe one of the easiest scores left on the course. It's a par 4 at 675 feet. If you fly through this gap that the drone did, that's gonna mean that you pured the shot, but you can also kind of get skinny on the left and miss your line and shave that field goal post, or even go left of that. And as long as you're out here in the open, you're gonna have some kind of a chance. The forehand is really the best way to approach this green, as quickly as it tucks back to the right, and having that log down underneath doesn't really allow the rollers to get up there.
Calvin going with that Quasar again, ripping over on this and using the stability late in the flight. That is huge. Gets the skip to prime position.
Yeah, to be able to take that right side gap and still get the flare back to the left side of the fairway, that's just ideal all around.
Completely out of birdie position right there. Andrew going with his most stable force.
Really trusting that thing on turn. Yeah, pretty conservative spot, but let's see what kind of shape he tries to go into the green with there. The splice out of Eagle once again, just outclassing the entire field with his overstable 9-speed and out driving everyone on the card. Oh, it's so fun to watch, but sometimes just boggles your mind.
Little fortunate result right there too. I mean, he was definitely committing to the wide side of those trees and ends up going inside, hits the field goal. Big moment right there in the round.
Absolutely. One of those moments where he's starting to feel that little bit of pressure that Heimburg is applying, and once again the course kind of lets him through. Presnell, can he get onto the green? Wow.
So technical.
That is one of the hardest shapes to hit as a right-hand backhand player. I just got goosebumps watching that thing fly.
Such a technical line. He's having himself a weekend. Love to see it.
There's that Eagle McMahon forehand coming out of retirement. Unfortunate little kick back, but
that can be a tricky spot. That's going to be all hyzer right there, kind of blind.
Garrett looking to save par. That thing is beefy. Just falling right on fade. And I guess I misspoke saying Eagle outdrove Calvin with his 9-speed, but they both find the similar spot on the green.
Making minis over there. Calvin kind of undercommits on that Firebird approach.
Garrett an inch short on that uphill hyzer putt.
Okay, so he had a straight look there.
And was able to go to his comfortable stance, fortunately for him. Unfortunately for the rest of the card, though.
Same exact spot. And he's also good. Right side chains. He's going to stay within 2. They are both 9 under par for the round. Really crazy that the golf just kept getting better throughout the weekend. I mean, this is not an easy course. I don't think that we were expecting anybody to get to 30 under par through 3 rounds.
Yeah, I think everyone trying to feel the course out in practice, it felt like, you know, you shoot something in the 6 to 9 range, you feel pretty great about that round. And once again, the tour just showing you guys the talent level that we have this year. It's been increasing every year, but this year especially, it is next level.
Hole 15, combined hole from holes 1 and 2 of the East course. This is a monster par 4, and Eagle McMahon has been throwing a monster, just towering drive, 100 feet in the air on Annie, stable disc. We've seen a lot of players just kind of chip one around the corner and then try a big Annie on their second shot. And we've seen a lot of players just kind of play this one for par. This is one of the harder greens to access. Big moment right here for Calvin with the box.
Going rock. Looks to be high enough, and let's see if it has the turn.
Calvin said it wasn't turned enough out of his hand, and he was correct. He's over by the old pin location for hole 1. Not a great spot to be.
Andrew going low, very flippy line. I haven't seen that shot elected for very often.
Yeah, Andrew made it clear that he's not attacking this one for birdie.
I've been so excited to watch this shot all weekend, you guys. There's been talks of the town on a number of drives where Eagle McMahon just threw it over the tops of the trees. That doesn't happen. He just threw that disc legitimately 180 feet in the air, you guys, and he finished in a spot where he might even be able to see the gap of this basket, which is just, it's just unheard of. The kid's safe too. We're good.
Whoa. That was much higher than I was even expecting.
That is so towering high. It's hard to even put it into words, you guys. Like it's so exciting to watch. I just, is there a more fun golfer to watch than Eagle McMahon?
No. It's hard.
It's hard to say so. And Garrett, usually the king of those high shots, not able to hold the turn.
Heck yeah. There you go. Good rip.
Yeah, Andrew playing.
Yep, he's been high. This is even the par is difficult here. If you're too short, all of a sudden you have this really tricky shot up the hill. No way.
Oh.
Calvin catches something coming out of the gap. That is almost instant bogey over there, Connor.
Yeah, without some kind of standout.
Here, I'd have a little bit more room off of it over here.
It's going in line with the basket.
The basket's that way. I'm pointing straight at it.
Is it going in line with the basket?
Garrett trying to figure out his relief. We do get 1 meter of relief off these ropes, but we're not able to move them. And that looked very well executed for catching his hand on the rope and everything. Calvin has this short swing and Anheuser. And yeah,
it's 2 shots from there.
it's so hard to run that dead tree right there without getting really just kind of squeaky through the branches. That putt's not really runnable.
Eagle nearly pin high, Connor.
He can see the gap. That doesn't happen here, you guys. No one's even been sniffing that. No one can see dirt on their approach here. Eagle was staring at the entire gap. Oh my gosh. Presnell playing it safe, catches the very edge of that downed log.
And I tell you, Andrew actually made that exact putt during round 2 to keep his bogey-free round going. So he's got the same look uphill, super scary putt.
Calvin nearly delivers a Toro toss-in. Garrett having to go forehand. Annie sticks it on the green. Eagle has the luxury just to lay up and understanding that Calvin is about to take a bogey, so he's getting a stroke back.
Oh, he's got it again.
That putt is inside the circle, but it is very difficult. It feels everything of a 40-footer power-wise. And you know if you miss low, you have a chance to roll right back. Woo, that thing dove in the rim, you guys.
He's going to move to 3 back. It's not over, though. We still have the hardest hole on the course coming up in the 17th. 16 is no gimme. Yep.
Yeah.
So he's going to have 3 over Calvin and Andrew.
Garrett showing a little bit of frustration. Not quite the round he had hoped for. Andrew squeezing it under that branch. Great putt. He has a great putting style for those uphill putts with that rise. And he's playing strong. Still sitting tied second, 8 down on the round. Hanging out right there with Calvin and Eagle.
Is Carter's 12 through 15?
Impressive stuff for the young gun Carter. He can really smash on the disc. And hole 16, par 4, 660, not the longest, but really pinches you off the tee to play straight and finish left. If you can get a nice skip and land yourself somewhere around here, you're going to have a straight shot into the green. We've seen a lot of players kind of drag something over the top, let it fight out, or just play something less stable into this green. We do have the road long and a downslope behind this basket, keeping you honest with your pace coming into the green. Textbook positioning for Presnell. Eagle going back to fairway driver. He just has too much distance for these shots.
Screaming it low. It's out the gap, but it's at the short end of that fairway. He's still going to have 350 into the green. It's a pretty small gap to hit from that far.
Yeah, it truly is.
I think he might be looking at like the Mindbender flip up.
Calvin hidden behind the tree. Slightly confusing. This tee box does have a tree right behind it that kind of actually cuts into some of the tee surface.
And he's going Draco off the tee there, and I think that's just
Eagle
putter
going,
Connor.
yeah, to that P3X. Maybe just understanding once again, a long look will do it, and he parks it. What? I thought that was a conservative chip up for maybe a long look, and he just slides up into the bullseye. Presnell with the green drone. If you know his game, you know how much he relies on these things. And he says, I got you, Eagle. Wow. Impressive upshots. This is not a very big gap.
Rock 3 for Garrett, and just 3 for 3 right now. This is something else.
That is impressive. Lead card putting on a show. Can Calvin join them in the bullseye?
Rock for Calvin as well.
Be nice.
Barely overturned for Calvin, and he's going to have a leafy look. That Calvin's had so many obstructed looks all weekend, just been a little bit off.
considering the moment, that was one of Eagle's better shots of the day. Not technically, but just with him being the furthest back in the fairway, and then to just put it in the bullseye, putting all kinds of pressure on Andrew and Calvin. And now he's kind of giving himself a little bit of a cushion. He still has 3 strokes with 2 holes to play.
Yeah, not enough cushion to breathe that sigh of relief just yet, but if he can get through the 17th and not lose any, I think at that point it's going to be really hard to imagine anyone catching him. Hole 18 can maybe swing 2 strokes at the most, you'd think, but not much more than that.
Decent walk up the hill to the tee pad of the Evil Genius hole, a combined hole this year. Par 5, nearly 1,000 feet. Looking to shape something right at 400 off the tee. And then there's a potential for a huge Annie with something stable down this road if you want to attack this one. We actually have not seen a 3 on this hole this weekend. It is playing as the hardest hole on the course. It averaged over par all weekend long.
Yeah, played at 0.4 over par today.
Wow.
Making it actually the second hardest hole. Hole 15 got it today. Maybe players felt like they needed to score on 15 today coming down the stretch, and that's just not the hole to try to attack.
And the Eagles going putter off the tee here, Connor. I think you've kind of figured out that if you go too straight, you kind of pinch your angle off on the second over the road.
Still almost pushes to the bottom of the hill. Eagle McMahon things, y'all. Garrett also going slower. Looks like Firebird out of him. Looking up a bit quick, but he gets to a spot where he's got airspace and a flat run-up. I feel like that disc for Eagle's got to be MD3, but either way, like the way he's been shaping that thing is amazing. Calvin, can it stay in?
Oh yeah, that's perfect position there. He's going to be looking straight up the road. I imagine that he's going to be sending this.
I think all these players, this is that time where it's like, you know what? I'm not just laying up for birdie. I got to go for it. And that looked so good out of Garrett. I feel like he would have at least had a long putt from the grassy side at the minimum there.
Definitely wanted to see that one continue flying.
Presnell after the unfortunate out of bounds.
Not sure where you're at on this hole, Connor, but this one's making my dream 18. Absolutely. I think this is one of the finest holes that we play all year long.
I think it's playing great. Maybe call me evil genius, but I wouldn't even hate to see the green made an island with a little drop zone across and the grass where you got to putt across.
I like
one
that.
Extra layer of difficulty, but it's already
just send it.
It's playing great already.
Yeah. Calvin Destroyer headed up the road. Didn't quite get that one to break over. But he's in the clear. He's going to have a 100-foot bid at this for an eagle.
Gurthie looks like he's eyeing up another aggressive shot. Oh, a little more conservative than I thought. Understands he needed to make it happen on that first shot, and now just damage control. The only real problem when you come over here is just being treed up on one of these cluster on the left. If you're anywhere in the open space, it's pretty simple, but Eagle has to lay up. Presnell, soft zone. Can it stick? It does. Good plastic choice. Good shot. He'll have a look for that par save after going out of bounds off the tee. Oh,
What a
Garrett
touchy.
butters up that Sonic, and I was a little worried for a second.
Thing just floated. Oh, no way. I just
Didn't look like it had the heart in it
No,
for
he
Calvin,
didn't
which is
have that. Just kind of fell out of his hands almost. I mean, he had to be running that, right?
that's what I felt, but out of the hand, it didn't look like a Calvin Heimburg run.
And there is a ceiling though, so it's hard to fault him too much for being low. But
Nice
what
little
a moment for Andrew with Calvin on the basket for birdie. They're going to be tied, and
bends it around that tree on the Heiser putt.
you can just see how stoked he is right now.
He knows he's right there. One more hole to go. At the worst, he's going to take at least a top 5 finish.
This is right at Tournament Central. There were hundreds of people enjoying some fresh beer, and there was some live music on Saturday night here. Ton of local vendors from the Portland and Seattle area. And
Oh, using all of that basket for Prez. As we step up to the 18th, it's a solid par 4, playing at 690 feet. Not going to be the most difficult, but also takes 2 good shots to birdie. Pretty fast ground here off the tee, so you're looking to avoid that out of bounds skip to the left, but you do kind of want to push it towards that curb to open up your approach. Forehand really suits this angle coming in, as well as that turnover backhand. Only real trouble on the green is out of bounds line, just long on that right side, maybe 25 feet. We've seen Double G play some amazing, huge flex lines here. Let's see if he's still looking to play super aggressive. Hard to see Eagle McMahon not taking this one down currently, with 3 strokes on a hole playing as relatively simple as the 18th, but the beauty of disc golf is anything can happen.
is there anything that Calvin can do to it? I mean, he's obviously not trying to go for the green there. Maybe just trying to, play for second at this point. What do you think, Connor?
I think he's in a pretty stock forehand range from there, and if he can get the skip off the ground or just try to air it in the basket with the forehand, I think, there is definitely a percentile chance of Calvin taking a 2 here. Eagle going putter. Just breaking everyone's brains over and over. But also, he's probably just playing this one for the easy par at this point. I'd venture to say he might not even go for the basket from there. Can Garrett clear the tree line?
Just a little overturned. We saw Garrett push that one out to 600 plus during round 2's coverage.
Yeah, he was pin high looking at it over there by those spectators. Eagle with the just smooth, conservative forehand. And he's still right there for the par 30. He went putter.
I thought he was laying that up.
Smooth.
That thing just...
Wow. How does he do
wrist.
it?
I don't know.
It's like when I watch Holland throw the FPO side forehand. It just comes out buttery smooth. So much speed.
Oh, beautiful turnover for Andrew. He's going to have 22 feet. Puts a little pressure on Calvin to get up and down here. Calvin going Draco.
Oh, that's hung out a bit wide. He's going to need some crazy ground play for anything to happen. Garrett crunching on the forehand.
That's a little sad that this tournament... Oh, man. Great skip. This would be a pretty sweet up and down.
Absolutely. Oh, no. Don't do him like that.
No way. That just rolled out of bounds. I don't know
Anti-champ
what that's
love.
doing for his position, but that is really sad after a
Yeah, he
really
battled that
good
back
tournament. Just phenomenal tournament, and a phenomenal tournament for that man right there. Probably the best tournament of his career thus far.
Absolutely. We know he's found himself jockeying in that top 10 at a number of tournaments, but this time I think is a Probably his highest finish, that podium finish.
It's just a little sad that this tournament's coming to a close. I mean, I don't want to leave.
I want to
Milo.
play again. Let's start. Can we start?
Playing? Maybe
we
they
start
can
next
just
year?
come up with another layout. We'll play it again next weekend. I
Please.
also just want to continue watching disc golf at Milo. It's one of the best settings we have, and it's one of Eagle McMahon's favorite courses. He's your 3-time Beaver State Fling champion.
And when I think of Beaver State, I think of Eagle McMahon when I was coming up in the game, watching the coverage, just thinking of the way he talked about this place.
Let's hear some more love for your 3-time MPO champion of the Beaver State Fling, Eagle McMahon.
And obviously, if you love where you are and what you're doing, it makes everything so much easier. The Big Bird taking down the 3rd Beaver State Fling of his career.
I love this place.
What an impressive showing. Is there a more dynamic and fun player to watch than Eagle McMahon? That extension. Unreal.
Yeah, I think his play style has and continues to inspire so many golfers around the world. What a performance. And it's been an absolute honor to be here in the booth with you, Connor, on this Central Coast disc golf coverage. This tournament on this channel is what inspired me to even sign up for the West Coast Swing. And then I fell in love, and I've
Now
been
here we are.
playing disc golf ever since, man. It's just so special to be here with you guys, enjoying this action. I mean, Connor, when we're sitting here in the booth, like, I don't know if the people at home know that we're seeing it for the first time, and
Yep.
we're just getting to enjoy it like they do when they're watching it on their couch at home.
As much as we're competitors, we're also fans of the game, and we love seeing it played. And you guys got to see 3 double-digit rounds from our lead card today. What a show. Way to go out.
And Carter Aarons, the 15-year-old from the Seattle area, having the best round of his career. And from Connor O'Reilly and Nate Perkins, thank you guys for joining us here on Central Coast Disc Golf. We will see you next week. We're headed 3 hours north to Olympia, Washington for the next Silver Series.